much do you think we can rip out of this wasted $6.5 trillion Harris-Biden budget?
Well, I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
Yeah!
Yes.
$2 trillion.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're being taxed. You're being taxed. All government spending is taxation. So whether it's direct taxation or all government spending, it either becomes inflation or it's direct taxation. Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that. We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook.
Well, I'm all for it. Color me skeptical, but I'm all for it. I did like that it was met with cheers. Joining me now, Joe Penland, better known as Joe from Texas. He's a businessman. You can find him at joefromtexas.com. Joe, okay, the national debt is a national crisis. People say they want spending cuts, and I'm glad they say that, but do they, Joe?
Absolutely they do. You know, the last 2.5 years I've visited with thousands, tens of thousands of people one-on-one, and many more than that from the stage on the Tucker tour, which I seen you in Fort Bend, which that was a great night that night. But yes, they want us to rein in this spending. There's no two ways about it. Inflation has just about got a grip on this country that most Americans cannot tolerate. But yes, they do want us to rein it in, and they want something positive in this next election.
Do we have, or I should say, will we have, after this election, will we have politicians with the guts to do it? It's very, very difficult to find those. Really, frankly, on either side of the aisle, politicians love to give things, not take things away. That's how you keep getting elected.
Well, you know, this time we have a president that's just going to be there 4 years. He doesn't have to worry about trying to stay and get reelected. He has the backbone to do what it takes to get this country back on track. I think he was on that course, kind of like, I guess, Bill Clinton. When Bill Clinton got in, he had to get a handle on the spending. He had to get, millions of people back to work. Donald Trump had that going. We had the best economy that this country ever knew, and then we got the China virus, and that the whole world has been backpedaling since that. But I think Donald Trump's got a great plan. I think he'll rein in this spending. I think he'll get a handle on that border. Go back and finish the job that he started on right there. We need to put millions of people to work in this country. But Jesse, you know and I know that we've got a declining birth rate in this country. In order to get our economy booming like it needs to be, we're gonna have to bring some people in this country like we did during the war. But we need to do it the right way. We need to do it like we did at Ellis Island at the turn of the century. We had 20 million people came into this country the right way, started businesses, raised their family. You still got 38 million people in this country that have a tie to Ellis Island today. But we got to get control over the border where we are in control of who comes, how many come, and we get to vet people like we need to.
Joe, how big of a deal is the national debt? It seems like people have always been saying it's a big deal. I talk about it all the time, but for a lot of people, it's hard to make that connection. $35 trillion in debt. How does it affect me, my life, my pocketbook? Why is it a big deal?
Well, it's a big deal because government are taking your taxes and they have to pay the interest on this debt. We're going to pay $1 trillion this year. We're going to go $2 trillion in the hole this year. The Congressional Budget Office has already said we'll go $2 trillion in the hole the next 10 years. Now, Jody Arrington, chairman of the Budget Committee here in Texas, but nationally, he has a budget that it'll take 10 years to balance our budget. That doesn't mean we're going to pay anything down. That means just get to where we start balancing our budget. Now, we have to do that. We have to have Donald Trump for 4 years. We have to have JD for additional 8 years. So we'll have 12 years to make sure this budget works its way into fruition. We have got to do this. There's no two ways about it. You cannot continue to stack debt on top of the back of the American people at the tune of $2 trillion a year. We're borrowing a lot of that money foreign from countries that don't like us. That's a dangerous scenario right there. You look at China, they're aligning themselves with Russia and Iran. They don't like us, but they're loaning us trillions of dollars. That's not a good scenario, Jesse. We have got to get back a handle of our own debt.
Well, we certainly do. Thank you. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.